You simply do not give yourself enough credit for how cool you are. You have the realest flex in every aspect of your life. And this week is going to be a doozy. Whoever you are, when this message reaches you, you will be laying down the groundwork, the new foundation for the newest era of your life. And in this new era, this is basically the beginning of the whole next year of your life. And it is going to be so much different from how you've been living, existing, thinking, or even breathing. So, as frustrated as you might be, as complicated as some things are unfolding for you at this time, there is a rhyme, a reason, and a blessing. You have the truest flex as the star, as the intuitive, as a psychic. You are humble, you have humility, and other people, they don't even know what they were flexing about or what they were mad about or what they were comparing, because you turn it all into ashes. You turn it all into shambles, delusion. You show people what the real flex is in every aspect of life. And Spirit is calling you out right now because you do not give yourself enough credit. I love Red Bull so much. I love it. I've been trying not to love it, but I love it so much. But seriously, you need to realize it about yourself. We're going to be going over that in today's channeled message. If you're new here, I'm your bestie on the internet. Hello. Hello. Hi. There's a lot of new fam here, new besties. But yeah, I'm your bestie on the internet. I'm your favorite YouTuber. I'm your spiritual cheerleader. I'm also on TikTok. And yeah, this week could feel a little uncomfortable because you last week discovered what has been holding you back, what has been slowing you down, whether they had good intentions or whether they had bad intentions. And you're having to be very blunt and assertive with moving forward. And this is laying the groundwork for the new foundation of the rest of your year, which is the beginning of the rest of your life. You are doing things in a certain order, and the bottom line of every situation and relationship is what speaks the loudest to you. You're like, you know what? I really like this person, but they're slowing me down. God wants you to become useless to those that have been being useless to you. And when I was channeling this, a motorcycle drove by, and then I realized the camera wasn't on. So I was like talking to the camera, but I didn't even have it on. I can't. So let me say it again. Basically, those that have been useless to you, you thought like, oh, they're going to be able to help me with this, or we're going to be able to work together on that, or they're going to be such a great friend. Whatever your hopes were for certain people, if they have proved useless and all they do is make more work for you with a smile on their face, like, oh, what did I do? I didn't do anything. You're not dealing with anyone weaponizing their incompetence or their delusion. I'm going to say that again. You are clocking people that are weaponizing their incompetence or weaponizing their delusion. You don't have time for either one because you are on damage control. So you are learning from the past so you can be more playful. Something that you didn't like about this last era is you had every intention of being more playful, but it wasn't as much as you would like it to be because you were either tired or exhausted or fixing things or running around or putting out fires. And you're like, I can't do this anymore. I said I was letting go of survival mode, and I meant that. So now you have acknowledged this last week, like, okay, this is what does not work for me anymore. I have to address it. I can't move forward. I can't play the way that I want to. I can't frolic the way that I want to until this is taken care of indefinitely. So you are fixing all of the errors that have been made in the last 6 months to a year, maybe even 2 years. For some of you, even longer. I'm hearing these boots are made for walking. It is time to transcend failure, where you feel like you have failed by believing in other people, into a limitless future. You know that no one is too big for the program and that anyone can be bamboozled. Anybody that tells you different is delusional. Anybody that tells you different is highly in their ego. I feel like I'm a pretty experienced person with a lot of wisdom, but I still get bamboozled because I want to believe in people. What makes you a star is you know what the real flex is. The real flex is important relationships that are where you are compatible. And what the real flex is knowing when to truly walk away from what doesn't serve you. People can talk about it all the time. It's easier said than done. Like we could say, oh yeah, I'm going to break up with Bobby. He's such a little dusty, blah, 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 blah. But you could be sleeping at Bobby's house still at night. Who's going to know? Who's going to know? You and your ancestors, you and God, you and the universe. You know what I'm saying? So you are letting truth transcend illusion. You know, and that your biggest flex is showing people that you are not above the program. That things happen to you, and all you can do is be smart about how you react or protect or handle certain situations. Like we are not above being bamboozled because we're on a spiritual training ground. If one person had already learned all the lessons, then like what are we even here for? If you could just learn it all in your 20s or all in your teenage years, what? No, that's not how that works. So people can change as well. You could be dating someone, you could be married to someone, and they go through something traumatic and they change, they switch up, they become a different person. It can happen to anyone. You are opening a portal to a new dimension, and ain't no one dusty or rude or hoarding or controlling or in scarcity. They're not gaining entry. They could try. They could try to hold on to your coattails as you're walking through this portal, but they will vanish and they will turn into stardust or just dust. I've got jokes today. But seriously, you are looking at people that are in fact in scarcity or they think they know everything. This is your biggest problem. You cannot deal with people that think they know everything. And they sincerely and dearly think, I don't have anything left to learn. What are you talking about? That is something that I can't deal with. It's very hard for me. Like I can have empathy and I can understand why they see things that way, but it doesn't mean that you like dealing with it because there is so much to learn. There's encyclopedias on encyclopedias. There's angels, ancestors, life experiences that we all have to go through. If we knew everything at a certain age, then what? No, that's not how it works, and that's not how we evolve. So one of your gifts is being able to understand, show empathy, and adapt to each person you are teaching a lesson to. It's almost like if you had 6 different people in front of you, you know how to package each presentation a certain way. If you had to give each person standing in front of you a gift, you would know to wrap each gift differently with different colors or different textures. Like this is what is amazing about you as this intuitive, as someone who is going to be in the public eye and of service to the world. So you could have just watched my grandmother message about her not liking the way that people have been trying to disrespect you, be slick, distract you, and take you off course and take you off your path because you have a big heart. She don't like that ish at all. And if you watch that message, you are 98% chance going to be a public or very big figure here soon. It does not matter your age. It is never too late to start living your life to the way that you would like to live it. You can look at some celebrities, for example, that started their career when they were 40, 50, 60. It's never too late, ever. So you are going to be claiming your independence and moving away from people that live in a fantasy world that think they don't have any more room to grow. That could never happen to me. Anything could happen to anyone. Though you could try to sidestep it and try to make certain decisions, it could still happen to you. And you know this. So you sidestep other people that don't want to know this. You make people rethink everything they have ever flexed. in their life. You make people rethink their life decisions. Example, when I got engaged, we got engaged after like 45 days. Though we had known each other before, dating seriously, after 45 days, we got engaged. And I'm sure people thought we were crazy, and we didn't give an F. But then I was like, okay, well, why don't we do this? While our families are getting to know each other, while my family is getting to know you better, and your family is getting to know me better, let's get married in a year. But that year turned into 4. So we did a 4-year engagement because I didn't really feel like planning a wedding. And you guys have been here a while, you know why. Okay, you already know why. I didn't have any help with the wedding on my side of the family. So I wasn't in a hurry. And I didn't feel pressured, like he's going to run away, I'm going to run away. The engagement wasn't to control me or to like lock me down. And that's what people don't understand about healthy relationships. In a healthy relationship, you are going to bare your soul to someone and hope that they accept you. Hope that they like you for who you are, and vice versa. Like, hey, this is me. I'm trying to be a better person, but like, I hope you like it. If you don't, oh well. And then you see who you're around and if they bring out the best in you. If you are around people that aren't being honest, they're not saying the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, that is a red flag. Okay, so this whole situation for you and what you're walking away from could have to do with love, but I say that to say this. If someone doesn't want to tell you the bad things about their behavior, or someone that thinks being controlling is cutesy-ootsy, it ain't. There's nothing cute about controlling somebody else. When you are trying to control someone else, it is because you have these deep insecurities of them doing whatever. And I don't think you should put up with people that are too flirtatious with other people, that are trying to get under your skin, they're trying to get a rise out of you, or they're trying to triangulate you to get things that they want. A flex isn't showing a bag that somebody got you. A flex isn't showing like, oh, they bought me this car, they bought me this bag, they bought me this, that, and the third. That ain't a flex. A real flex is, we have been through a whole bunch of shit together, and this person loves me regardless. We have been through so much, and it's always helped bring us closer together. It has always helped us grow. This person brings out the best in me, and they accept me for who the fuck I am. That is a flex. You don't even have to be in a relationship to be flexing. You're still out here flexing because you are honest and forthright, and you admit when you're wrong. If you've been here a while, I will admit when I have had a theory about something and then I correct it, because I take my purpose seriously, and I don't want to be on here saying things that aren't helpful or are ever going to lead you down the wrong path. Now, granted, we are all grown here, and you should take any messenger, influencer, or person online that you're listening to, you should use your discernment. Because again, we are all grown here. But there's a lot of people that go online that don't use their discernment at all. And they're like, because so-and-so said to jump off the cliff, I jumped off it. Now I'm hurt. Where are they at? I cannot. So you can't deal with people that cannot take accountability or victim blame. And you like to be around people that are, hey, this is who I am on a good day. This is who I am on a bad day. And then let them decide. And then let them get to know you and see if you guys are in alignment together. And this is in all partnerships, not just love. This is also in friendships. This is also in business. Someone that isn't going to try to pretend that the numbers are always great, or the money is always good, or the love is always going to be great. People go through things. They go through loss. They go through stress. They go through job loss. Like, we all deal with loss, and we all grieve differently. And some people have more growing to do than others, but this is going to be your lucky time where your life is very fertile. And so God is showing you how to plant all of these seeds. You are making people out here rethink anything that they've ever thought to flex. They're not showing humility. They're not humble in the slightest. They think they're the encyclopedia. You're the walking love spell, and these people are delusional to think that they are the walking, talking encyclopedia. For me, for instance, I cannot do business with someone that doesn't want to further their education. I cannot do business with someone that cannot or does not want to further their education, thinks they know everything. That's not how that works. It just isn't. There is always room for improvement. We also have AI. There are so many things that are ever changing. How could you think that you just don't ever need to figure out something else or learn something else? For example, the hair industry. This would be a good example. The hair industry, billion-dollar industry, always growing. There are a lot of stylists that want to further their education. This is how you maximize. This is how you know things. This is how you can help a lot of different people, be of service to a lot of different people if that's what you want to do. So you learn different hairstyles, you learn different hair types, you learn different types of extensions, you learn like blonding services, more organic side services, different amenities, upgrades, and you're always improving or learning. Like, let's say you're not taking classes, but you're always learning online and then learning how to implement this into your plan. There's always room to grow. And for instance, if I'm dealing with somebody that's like, well, I've been in the industry this long, so I don't need to do anything. No, sorry. I've been working since I was 12, okay? 12, 13 years old. I know there's always room for improvement. I can easily say, I've been in this industry for this long. I've been in this industry for that long. What is the point of that? Like, yeah, I could say that to say that, but what am I showing? Am I showing that I'm always evolving? I'm always learning? There's always new ways to do things? Absolutely. And so I feel like in this era of your life, you're really getting more comfortable with the fact that you were given this voice and you are rising from the ashes and that you have something to say. You have something to say. It is time for you to say it. And you're going to start this week. This is going to help you become more independent, help you become more playful. You're having every type of breakthrough this month. Okay? Starting this week, the next 30 days, you are about to have every type of breakthrough. A breakthrough in the way that you communicate, a breakthrough in the way that you take action, and a breakthrough in the way that you make money and the way that you love. It's absolutely beautiful. So there were people that were coming up against you because they feel like your teacher's pet. They feel like you're God's favorite, the universe's sugar baby, and they were trying to control things or they were trying to manipulate you. So they could have been trying to use money as a form of manipulation, their knowledge as a form of control, to say, oh, well, I'm not going to give you this unless you do that. Here, over on this corner of the internet, we don't deal with people that are transactional, that think they're the puppet master, that want to control us. That is not love. That's not business. That's not friendship. You know what's crazy is a lot of people go online and they say, this person loves me so much because they bought me this, and that. This person's so awesome because they bought this, and that. How does any of that show their character? Truly. Because that person could have bought that for you with ulterior motives. And it's very short-sighted too, to like, oh, that makes this person amazing. A lot of you guys are going to be starting therapy. I've been channeling it and like not knowing how to say it, but I'm just going to say it. A lot of you guys that are not in therapy, you're going to be getting into therapy because you're wanting to really evolve in a bigger way. That's good for you. You're like, you know what? I need to be more playful. I need to figure out why I so easily slip back into survival mode when it's something I'm trying to heal. I want to fix this, because our childhood wounds we carry with us into our future relationships. So a lot of us are going to be getting into therapy because we're like, what can it hurt? It's not really going to hurt anything, so let's do it. Let's do it. So yeah, it's like a real flex would be, this person cares about me because when this happened to me, they did this for me. Or they said this to me. Example, when I first got sick in front of my husband, cutest little Italian ever. Well, he's not little. Cutest Italian ever. But he can't cook. Bless his heart. He cannot cook anything. And that's okay. But he tried to make me some soup the first time I was sick in front of him. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And so even though he might not, certain things might not be his strong suit, he is the kindest person when I don't feel well or I'm really grumpy. He knows just how to handle me. Like, man, my baby's a gangster, but she also needs a hug. You know what I mean? And I think that when you truly love someone, you see the inner child in them. And I talk to you guys about this a lot. That is a form of a flex. You don't have to have all of the money in the world to be happy. And social media kind of makes it that way. And a lot of these people are out here lying about what these men are doing. Now, I'm not calling out men, but I'm just calling out certain influencers that basically are giving fake PR. And it could be the same thing for men. Men could be giving fake PR for their girl. Either way, like, oh, my girl does this, my girl does that. And the women could be like, oh, my man. And then the first one to be like, oh, no. When we broke up and he ain't shit. Well, where is the in-between? Where is the truth in that? Do you know what I mean? So it's being able to admit when you've been petty. It's being able to admit when you've had some fault. You have people rethinking everything they've ever flexed. A perfect example is the Wizard Liz. And I feel really bad for her. And I know that she's going to transmute what she's going through and sort it out and figure it all out. But at the same time, it's like, Lucy, you got some explaining to do. You know what I mean? And I've seen her take a lot of accountability, but then kind of backpedal that by the things that she's been hiding. And I'm like, girl, no, like, stop hiding stuff. And one thing I really didn't like about the whole Landon situation is the situation with his ex. That was the one thing where I was like, girl, if you are saying you don't want to get involved, okay? You guys know the situation where she was pregnant and then she was 4 months pregnant and then Landon cheated. And then the ex got online and was like, this is what he did to me. And instead of Liz listening and being like, okay, noted, she said, don't involve me. I'm not getting in that. This is between you guys. But then went to help Landon sue her. Girl, what? I didn't like that. I was like, okay, girl, I can't stand behind that. Like, I understand your content. I love your content. I have a lot of empathy for you. But at the same time, like, none of us are above the program. So I say that to say this. You have a lot of people around you that are figuring some things out the hard way, unfortunately. But you do pray for them to get it sorted. Like, there are some people that you have to walk away from maybe, and you are praying for them to get it sorted, but you're like, I just can't be a part of this. There is an opening, a position opening up in the universe for you, and this is all that God is preparing you for. Like, hey, I got a soulmate on the way, or I need you to do this. Like, take the action as you're being guided to, and things are going to go a lot more smoothly than they have been going. Trust me. I've had a bunch of things that I've had to fix, and I feel like I've been on damage control, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And then I'm also trying to heal from getting hurt. And thank you guys for all of your well wishes and asking how I'm doing, and I'm trying to heal. But I'm also trying to not make this that long because I am still healing. But yeah, it's like I've been looking at people that I believed in. I wanted to believe in. Again, I am not above the program, even though I have a lot of life experience. I'm still not like, oh, I know everything and like nothing's ever going to happen to me. Things happen to me all the time because us as light workers, we want to believe in people. I mean, come on. I want to believe in certain people. I have learned from my past, but I have to admit where, okay, this is not going to be a forever stop. This is going to be a stepping stone. This is going to be a pit stop. I have to sit my ass down and say, okay, this was fun for a little bit. I tried and it's just not working anymore. So I'm going to have to move on. And then I have to stick to that. I have to hold myself accountable. And so I've noticed, and this is kind of how I channeled your guys' message, is yeah, we're having to fix some of these things that aren't working anymore, unfortunately. And we're going to have to move kind of silently too, to where sometimes people are going to have to find this out the hard way. Sometimes we got to get out of the way until people get their ish sorted. You're just going to know what to do. Whatever situation you're dealing with, whatever damage control you're on, you're going to know what to do. You're going to know what's your responsibility and you're going to know what's not your responsibility. But there is a lot of lower vibrational entities and people that are trying to pluck this crown off of your head. They don't want you to be Batman. They don't want you to be the Joker. They don't want you to be the Riddler. They don't want you to be Harley Quinn. They don't like you being the mother of dragons. They don't like you being beast mode. They don't like you being a superhero. They don't like that at all. So these are the people that you're moving away from so you can make room for your real blessings. I see you being in this dimension, this new dimension of complete and utter gratitude for the life that you're living. What you do is the real flex. And God is giving you a new rhythm to your life. So let's see what else we get for you guys. What else did I get? Hold on. Well, I'm shuffling. Let me think. I see you in the sunshine. After you get these growing pains sorted, I feel like after this week, you're going to have a lot of clarity. That is what I should say. After this next week, you're going to be able to move easier because you will have clarity and you will have more answers and you will just feel better. Like, okay, I got it sorted. You might have to deal with new people, new characters, and that can make you really nervous. You can go back to any of the messages in the last week if you're needing like specific initials or certain timelines to help you with like the description of certain people that you should be working with. That could be helpful. But yeah, it's like you're going to be seeing, oh, I got to work with new people. I'm kind of scared. I got to start this new job. I'm kind of scared. I got to do this over here and walk away from so-and-so. I'm kind of scared. I got to do this on my own. And even though you're very independent, sometimes we do have to work with people or we have relationships. And so you're realizing you're a little bit terrified. But after you start laying this groundwork, you're going to have more clarity and better answers. Right now, it kind of feels like it's in the unknown. It's like question mark. You feel like everything you're about to do is a whole question mark. Know this. First of all, you listen to the nudge. You listen to the nudge. You listen to your body. You listen to your dream. You listen to your intuition. You listen to your higher self. Second, you've already put the plan into action. Now, this week, you're carrying out the plan. And all of that is going to give you further clarity on the people that you just walked away from, the people that were dragging you down and kind of distracting you, that there is a better way. It's time to become a great leader. All of this that you've had to rebalance is going to make you an even stronger leader. It's less is more. You don't need to take advice from the peanut gallery that doesn't really have the wisdom, just like talks to talk, doesn't know what they're talking about. Like, you don't need to listen to people that are rats, snitches, they lie, their core values don't align, or they pretend. There's a lot of flex culture online, especially. And what is that? Like fake PR for your person when they're not doing any of those things, you paying for it yourself, lying about who the person you're with is, trying to gas them up? Or is it trying to make your life seem like it's perfect? It's this flex culture. What you do is the real flex, and that is why people get really irritated with you. I'm hated on by a lot of people in my everyday life. You want to know why? Because I don't play games. I know exactly where to put you, and you won't like it when I put you there. You cross me, I'm going to tell you exactly who the fuck you are, and you're never going to fucking forget it. Riddle me what? You're never going to forget it. Okay? Because either karma is going to speak for me, my angels and ancestors are going to handle the rest, and then sprinkle, sprinkle, I'll say what I need to say. But don't try me. You won't like how it goes. So for me, people that I'm around sometimes, they cheat on their person. They like being sneaky. They steal. They like fake flexing. They like controlling everything and being so freaking pressed while acting like they couldn't have a care in the world. People that lie about who they are, put others down, bully other people, especially online and in the workplace. I don't F with that at all. So if people don't like me for that, I don't care. I don't give a whole freaking F in the sky. No, I don't. So I think that when I'm around other people, they expect because I'm a light worker or nice or kind or generous to be nice to them if they're rude. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to acknowledge you at all. I don't acknowledge hate. I don't acknowledge angry. I don't acknowledge people that are mean and evil-spirited. You don't have access to me. You do not have proximity to me. You are now invisible. That is how you starve these people out, whether they're a narcissist or not. So like in the workplace, when I'm at my 9 to 5, there's a lot of like pettiness and drama and gossip and slander and just hateration every which way from Sunday. And I don't act like, oh, I'm above a job, like I can't have a job, or I have all of this wealth, or da-da-da-da. No, when I started my channel, I had nothing. Nothing. And I'm still rebuilding. Some of you guys were my A1 day ones, or are my A1 day ones, and you've been here from the jump. Okay? When I started my channel, I started with nothing. I was working my 9 to 5, like living at my 9 to 5, working crazy amount of hours and still just trying to film a little bit. And I was just starting my life over again because of being screwed over by family so badly, working through that trauma. And never once was I like, oh yeah, my life is so awesome. Like, what? Why am I going to pretend? Like, I'm going to pretend I don't have a job? I'm going to pretend that I'm not starting over? I'm going to pretend that my life is good? Why would I do that? That's not honest and that's not authentic and that's just not me. And maybe there's an old version of me. Well, there is an old version of me that would pretend. But I don't think the old version of me that would pretend would have the audacity to get online and pretend. That shit sounds exhausting. But there are people that do this. And so when I'm dealing with people in the workplace, they look at me like, who the frick do they think they are? I don't think I'm anyone. I'm just not going to put up with your BS. How about that? I don't do it online. I don't do it in my family. If I am zero contact with my family of over 7 years, what makes you think that for way less or anything crazy, I'm just going to let you? What? They'll cut people off for less. So please sit down. Like, that is what you're serving. The real flex is cutting off fake friends, standing on business, when you cut people off, knowing what your core values are, knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, and accepting people, bringing out the best in them, you are either making this world better or you are making this world worse. That's kind of how you're looking at things. You're either making this world better or you are making this world worse. And you do not hang out with the people that are making this world worse. Now, there are some people teetering the fence that kind of don't know. They thought they knew, but they don't know. They better figure it out. They better figure it out. Because you cannot lead people into darkness and be like, oops. That is why I take my purpose seriously. A lot of us messengers do. A lot of us messengers take our purpose seriously. But sometimes there's influencers that don't. Manifestation coaches that don't. Or they don't tell the whole truth. And I think the truth is important when people look up to you. And I think we have a responsibility to be transparent in that way. So when people want to have a family channel and portray, we have a perfect family, we do all this fun stuff, nothing's ever wrong. Well, you might want to show the things that do go wrong, because that's a real relationship and that's a real marriage. That's a real family. It's not going to be all peachy keen 24/7. So I see you attracting people with your authenticity. This is going to be the new era of your life, the new stage of your life where your authenticity is your gift. You are the change. You are the twist in the tail, the thing that people did not see coming. They were like, oh, I was just scamming along. I was just moving along. I was just lying along. And then here came Collective. What the frick? I'm hearing 21 Jump Street. I don't know if I told you guys the initials, but they're HLUAS and R. That could be helpful. We have a moment's regret. There are some things that you might regret. Like, oh, why did I let that person help me? Why did I let them lie to me? Think about it this way. At least you catch it faster than others. Some people would like to sit in the delusion like, no, it didn't work like that. It's not that bad, whatever, what have you. But I want you to know this. You clock it faster than most. I haven't said this in a minute. You clock this faster than most. People's deception. You can also handle a little bit more than others when there is the deception and it carries on for a little bit too long. But a little bit too long for you is not what it is for others. So like what you'll put up with or try to tolerate is still fast tracked. So like when I'm dealing with somebody in work or in business, I will try to give them a chance and a benefit of the doubt. And then if I'm like feeling really anxious or bad about it, or I just have a really looming and doom dark feeling, it's like, no, can't do this again. Have to move on. Then I could be dealing with somebody in business that's really nice, really kind. We're on the same type of frequency. We speak the same kind of language, but they're not willing to admit their shortcomings. They're not willing to admit that they maybe don't know what they're doing, but they just keep moving along like, yeah, it's fine. Everything I'm doing is fine. Like, I'm not lying at all. That's sometimes hard. It's like, well, I want to believe in you, but you're not keeping it a buck with me. You're not keeping it 1,000. And I can't really get down like that because I admit when I make mistakes. Like, oh, sorry, that was me overthinking. Or, oh, sorry, like I thought this, but that was wrong. That was wrong. Scratch that. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Or I apologize for like bothering you or thinking it was this and it wasn't. I'm sorry. Like admitting when you're wrong. And sometimes when you're around people, it's like there's this big elephant in the room and they don't even want to address it. They're like, what elephant? You're like, the third party situation. That 3 of Swords right there. That effery over there. Maybe that. They're like, oh no, it's fine. You're like, I can't. So you are claiming your independence. Oh my gosh, look, I am not a victim. You could easily be like, oh my gosh, I fell for this. I'm a victim, blah, blah. But you're not going to because you're like, part of me wanted to F around and find out. When I stay with a person too long in a friendship or a business situation, I'm like, I kind of effed around and found out. I kind of knew they were lying a little bit, and I kind of wanted to find out the rest. But I won't make the stakes too high. If the stakes are too high, I'm out. But if it's like, let me kind of see and it's not going to cost me a lot, let me find out. Let me find out. I really want to know sometimes before I walk away. And sometimes I'm going to test another ally or person out before walking away from this person. Because sometimes I have to replace one person with the other. Unfortunately. It's like, I don't have time. I don't have all the time in the world for it to be freaking wasted. I have enough on my plate. Some of us are spread really thin. And then we have these people that want to play too much. And then sometimes us overanalyzing, taking the scenic route, we're like, was I being too hard on them? I don't know. You're going to get a lot of clarification. You're going to get a lot of vindication that you were right. There is some jealousy hidden. There's like some undertones of jealousy that you're really not wanting to see. Like, no, they're not jealous. They're not envious, but there is undertones of that. And it's going to be proven to you that they do look up to you in some way, or they want to be like you, or there's something that you have that they want to possess in not a good way. So your angels are trying to protect you right now. They're giving you signs and synchronicities through your angels, through birds, through feathers, leaves, songs, the sunshine. I mean, they're hooting and hollering. Birds are swooping all over the place to try to tell you like, hey, I know you're nervous about going this direction, but don't be nervous because going back this way is going to be bad. It's only going to get worse. So this is like me trying to work with somebody, and every time I give them a chance, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Or it's lazy, or it's sloppy, or it's all slopped together. And it's like, this is the presentation? Like, this isn't good, because how are we pretending that this is okay? Things are not up to your standard. Act like you're the spiritual inspector. Are these things up to your code of ethics? Are these things up to your code of conduct? Are these things up to your standard? I think not. I bet not. I bet not. Okay. You guys could be having dreams. Maybe get a dream journal, especially if you feel like your sleep has been kind of wonky and you haven't been necessarily remembering your dreams. You might want to get like a little notepad or take down notes in your phone. Okay, a new world is born. A whole new world is born. Aladdin. Just kidding. But seriously, you're starting to see where people should not gain any more entry. And it kind of makes you sad. You're like, dang, I was really hopeful. Dang, I wanted to be friends with them, but it's not going to work out. And that's another thing. If people are committed to misunderstanding you, like, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if people are committed to misunderstanding you. Don't feel bad if people are dealing with justice, karma. Maybe they'll learn a lesson. Maybe they won't. Last but not least, we have it's now or never. There's no more waiting. I apologize that my nose is really stuffy. I'm sorry. But we have it's now or never. There's no more waiting. You're starting to see like, oh, it's got to happen now. Like, and that's kind of giving you a little bit of anxiety. You're like, oh, it's got to happen now because if it doesn't, it's going to be a domino effect. You're figuring out so much right now. Be really proud of yourself. You have people around you rethinking everything they ever thought they were flexing in front of you. Like, ooh, aren't you jealous? No, because I know what a real flex is. That ain't it. A real flex is my purpose, my soulmate that knows me, understands me, likes the good, bad, the ugly, the indifferent. The real flex is my honesty, my uniqueness, my authenticity, my rawness, my bluntness, whatever it is, and knowing when I'm wrong, my humility, the way that you inspire people from an authentic place. That is the real flex. So you have no need to fear. Remember how powerful you are. God is going to be reminding you of how powerful you are, because you could be thinking like, oh, these people forgot about me, or they're being really mean to me, or they think I'm a joke. Prepare to be reminded this week of who you are. If you thought, no, I fell off, no, I'm glowing down, no, I'm on a losing streak, no, I'm in my flop era, absolutely not. You are not in your flop era. There's just a lot you're figuring out. And I'm not saying that to like give you guys an excuse. You're trying to figure out who is really in your corner right now. And I feel like the devil's trying to confuse you, like, oh, is that your friend? Do you think that's your friend? Or is this your friend over here? I can give you a hint with how you're cleaning house. You will know whether to keep a friend, an ally, a confidant, a whoever, if they're honest with you and they can see things from another person's perspective. Example, I have a friend that's like, oh yeah, this situation happened, but I can see it from their perspective. And if it was me in their shoes, I would have done the same thing. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like if I was in their situation, I probably would have done the same thing too. So Sirens, I understand what you're saying. And I like the way that she explains things. But if it was the wrong person, it could easily be misunderstood. Easily. And so I'm grateful for this type of friendship where our relationships aren't perfect. They aren't wrapped in a freaking bow like, oh my gosh, my man does nothing wrong and he just spoils me. That ain't real life. Like it is, but it's not. And I rather have my husband do kind things for me when I'm in pain, when I'm suffering, when I'm really sad, when my heart is broken, when I've been betrayed, when I've been effed over. I rather have him in my corner, tending to me, loving me, wiping my tears, scrappy, looking at people like, who are you talking to? It ain't my girl. No, you are not. I rather have that than have him buying me bags or like I don't need him for that. We don't need a person for that. They're not an ATM. And a lot of the times in some of the most abusive relationships I've been in, I got at the point where like if somebody's trying to get me with gifts from the beginning, I'm like, nah, there's an ulterior motive here. You're going to take this back. You're going to dangle this over my head. Like you're going to give this to me, but as soon as you're mad, you're going to take it back. And you can tell a lot about a person by how they act when you give them a gift, especially if gift giving is one of your love languages. But it's like I would rather have somebody be honest with me and upfront and almost like kind of embarrassed, like, oh, hey, I'm actually going through a breakup, so I don't even know if I should be on this date, or I'm kind of going through some things, but I really like you. And I rather have the truth of it, the whole of it, than pretending that they're not like okay when they're not okay, or having them buy me things. I've had that work out terribly. It's never worked out well, where somebody was trying to buy my love and affection. I have always, because that's how my mom was dangling gifts. And it was like, you were never going to get the carrot that was being dangled. You were never going to get it, especially if you were me in the family. You were never going to get it. So what was the point? So I learned how to get things on my own. And that's kind of my childhood trauma is, okay, I got to get this on my own, which is fine, but I cannot be bought. The devil will always know your price. And when you can stand on business, when the devil cannot reach you and sends you a man, and that man knows your price, and you're like, oh, well, I could use a house and a new car, I don't really like him like that, but I would like that stuff. No. Riddle me what? No. I would rather get that myself than be with somebody that I don't really like that, or like I can't stand. And if I really like somebody, I'm not going to play down that I don't like them. That's another thing I don't get. They're like, oh, I don't even really like them like that. You do like them like that because you like what they're doing for you, or you like something about them. So now like you're out here not even claiming them. I'm so confused. So you're going to see that in the public eye sometimes. Like, people that haven't lived enough life cannot be out here giving advice. I can't stand when people are like super, super young and they're like, oh, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. That could never be me. But it can be you. Before you finish the word, it can be you. So don't even say that out loud. You're like calling it. I never thought, you guys, I never thought I was going to be a drug addict. Ever. Never thought I'd spend a day in jail. Never thought I would fight the way that I do or got in trouble for fighting. Never thought I'd be arrested. Never thought I would do some of the things that I've done. But I did them. And I stand on them because it has shaped me into the person I am. Like, being an addict, being an alcoholic, being in and out of jail, being in my sobriety, I can help other people that are struggling or that are going through a hard time or that have been in a similar situation as me. I'm not above the program. I thought, I'm never going to let somebody hurt me like I've seen in my life or in my family. I'm never going to let that happen to me. That ain't ever going to be me. It was me 3 different times. I was like, I'm never going to be an addict after seeing how my dad was. Guess what? Go through your first breakup and you are in so much emotional pain, you just might numb it. And I didn't have the proper tools to know how to do anything different, and that's what I did. So I had to go through those things to grow and to learn. And then I realized when I was younger, I really thought that I just knew everything. And now I'm like, oh no, we just never stop knowing stuff. Not ever. And even if you've been with someone for a long time, example, a lot of people are giving Wizard Liz all this shit. Oh my gosh, she was she was only with this guy for 4 months. You could be with somebody for 30 years and they start an OF and then they switch the F up on you. Riddle me what? You could be with somebody for 20. I have friends that were married for 20 years, 30 years. Their person flipped a freaking switch. 20 years in, 30 years in. And now, like, decimated their whole relationship, their marriage, with children and grandchildren. So you can't tell me anything. I take anybody's relationship advice, especially, I don't really listen to relationship advice because I should be giving the relationship advice, okay? I should be giving it. I take it with a grain of salt. I like hearing different people's perspectives. I like the inspiration of it all, but I take it with a grain of salt because if you don't have a successful relationship that is tried, tested, proven, seen, and understood, no. So it depends. Like, if the person is giving it from experience, I need to see it tried, tested, and true. But if you're a psychologist or a behavioral specialist or a counselor or therapist or whatever, I'm listening because I love the psychology and the sociology of it all. But I say that to say this. You are the one that should be leading the class through your life experience because you have the humility and the humbleness to even, for it to be understood completely. And we need more of you in this world leading, not what's going on, not people that can't admit when they're wrong. And I'm not talking about Wizard Liz. Okay, there's a lot of influencers that do this, like Michaela Noguera. I can never say her name. She doesn't like to admit when she's wrong or she's falsely advertised. And I'm not like shading any of these people, but I'm just giving examples of there are a lot of influencers that, like the families, like I think the Ace family, like, it's just sad. You have to work so hard to portray a brand that you can't have any faults. And sometimes it's not good to have your family in the spotlight or picked apart. You have to know if your family is in alignment for that. Maybe you are just in alignment to have a spiritual business or an online business. Maybe your family is not in alignment for that. Maybe your person is not in alignment for that for a reason. Maybe it's just supposed to be you. So example, I started my second channel and I'm going to be posting on there soon. It's Pookie LaRue if you're new here. And so I'm going to be posting on there, but what I'm going to be posting on there is a surprise. I've only posted a couple videos on that channel. But at first, I wanted it to be a channel for me and my husband. But God showed me like that's not what's going to happen, because he moved him in a different direction. He got him, he was given a promotion. At the same time, I was starting that second channel, and I was like, that's a sign. That is a sign that maybe I'm in alignment to do this, but you're not in alignment to do this right now, that you're supposed to be doing this over here, and that's okay. We're not pressed to do that. Do you know what I mean? So that could be an example to you that you don't have to put everything on Front Street. There are some things that can be sacred and private, and people are either going to believe you or F with you or not. Time will always tell. And you are the tale as old as time. Not because you're old, but because you always show through time. You're not covering up errors. You're not covering it up. If you're like the Wizard Liz, when Landon cheated, she said he cheated. And then when she was like, I'm leaving him, she left him. The problem I have with that is she went back to him, because when he filed that order of protection or whatever, they were common law in the States, man and wife, which means, and it also said on the documents that they lived together for 1.5 years. So the whole time you've been telling the world, we're not together, F him, then you're on another live stream saying, actually, he's been living upstairs. I told him to leave me alone. So I get all of the complications. I get all of the intricacies of that situation, because I've lived similar situations. But at the same time, there's a lot of contradictions. So you can't be like part of public speculation unless you want to get kind of speculated. And so I feel really bad for her in that aspect. And again, the only thing I really didn't like is when she was mean to the ex and then was like making it about her, like, no, that girl's crazy. And I'm like, no, girl, you should probably listen to, like, take that with a grain of salt, at least. She's trying to help corroborate your story. But you're wanting to feel, because of your ego, like, no, I'm the only one that went through that. So I say that to say this. There's a lot of times where she's been really honest, but there's a lot of times where there's been contradictions and holes in the story, and then it's getting found out because people are now digging. That's never going to be you. Like, because you're always going to be honest. Like, hey, I thought I figured this out, I didn't. Or, hey, I'm not going to talk about my relationship anymore on here. Whatever it is, you get in front of a lot of things, and you can cut a lot of things off faster than most. So, like, for you, for instance, a way that you would avoid the situations that are going on social media is you would never let somebody in your divine portal unless you knew for certain that you could co-parent with that person. And there's never going to be a perfect time as well for you to know when that person's right for you. I've been with my person for 12 years. But, and like, it can happen to anyone. But I also think that my friends that did get divorced, they got married in high school. And I don't think you should ever get married in high school. That's just my personal opinion. There are some exceptions to the rule. But I say that because you haven't finished developing. Like, your frontal lobe decision-making skills doesn't finish developing until 25, right? Isn't Liz like 26? Like, girl, so you met Landon like 2 years ago and you were like 24, I think? I don't know. Don't quote me. But I have friends that got married in high school, married their high school sweetheart. And I don't feel like that ever works out because you are definitely going to outgrow each other. So just take your time, whoever you're getting to know. Don't be too hard on yourself. Everything is being changed and shaped in a certain way just for you. You're going to know what to do. You're going to know how to move. As you move accordingly, The clarity is coming. Okay? You are the real flex, and you're doing an amazing job. And I think it's good that you make people think about some of the things that they care so deeply about that aren't really important. Some people like playing games and they think that's important. It all stems from our childhood trauma. And so I see that you're going to be addressing that, whether in a relationship or in therapy. So you guys, let me know what's going on in the comments. Sorry, I feel like that was like a long situation. I said it was going to be short. Ugh. Okay. I love you guys. All important links are below. Smash the you-know-why, hit the bell, all the things. You don't want to miss out when I go live. And I think that's it. I love you guys. Bye.